Hello everyone, hi War Gamers. I am here with Mondo Forgia, and he is a creator. They are a creator on Etsy who I had found that does custom 40K cosplay and costume design. And we wanted to give them a call and sort of talk to them about that today and a little bit about what they do. And I'll just have you guys just really quickly introduce yourselves to everybody, and then tell us a little bit about yourselves and your company.
Hello everyone, my name is Matteo.
Hi, I'm Nadia.
And we are the owners of Mondo Forgia. We are the creator of a lot of stuff related to the 40K universe for LARP and cosplay that goes from Sister of Battle, Space Marine, Imperial Guards, Orcs, Tau, Necron, almost everything.
Alright.
How awesome would it be a LARP on Warhammer 40K? And we started our own. And from that we learned to do all the stuff for power armors, orcs, Necron, everything.
Great. All right. That's pretty awesome. Now, the 40K community, specifically like the LARP community, it's like kind of big, I guess, in Italy. I had like no idea. There's like a real effort behind this, and you had brought up one of the pages, and I can't think of the name, escapes me at the moment, but that was the page that you guys have specifically tied to your LARP group. What is the name of the LARP group that you guys use, that you guys are part of?
Okay, seems working. So the page you found, 43klive.com, it's the live we started 6 years ago. And the 1st June we'll do the last event, the ending of the first big campaign, and then we'll take a little break, 6 to 8 months, and we'll start a new campaign, bigger, playable the Eldar and the Taus. For now, the people can just play Imperial.
And just, I've got it up on the screen display.
So experience.
There is a super cool Tau armor battle suit, Fire Warrior suit that he has made, which you guys are able to see at the moment. I'm kind of flipping through these photos. And the site you mentioned before, that was 43K Live, right?
Yes, and this is the Tau Fire Warrior we've been working on. This will be completed, I think, tomorrow.
All right, look at that! Look at that awesome armor.
This is for a girl, so we tried to change the breastplate in order to fit better for a woman. And tomorrow we'll complete it. And this weekend we'll bring it to a fair that we're going.
Oh, very cool. So now, is it all custom sizing that you're doing with these pieces, or do you try as best you can to sort of get a one-size-fits-all for like type of gender and stretching?
One-size-fits-all doesn't work. First of all, there is an important thing. Most of the miniatures and the fan art from 40K are an anatomical mess. A human body can't fit properly power armor from, yes, that's exactly what happened in a Terminator. If you look at Terminator power armor, for example, the shoulder is the same height of the ear. You cannot fit it. So you have to redesign the armor for to wear it. And everyone has different sizes, and it changes a lot. It's like a dress. When you go to the tailor, a dress fitted for you will be always better. One size fits them all doesn't work, especially because everything that we do takes a lot of time, and most of the time it doesn't even come cheap.
Sure.
So we try to offer to our clients the best armor possible.
Which is an important aspect, I think, especially for cosplay and just a good design in general. Like, you're gonna get what you pay for. If you want it to look extremely nice and extremely good, and like even competition level, or even just really like a high LARP standard, you of course that's quality is going to come at that price point. So I think that's something that some folks don't quite always understand when they're seeing this, and they maybe aren't as familiar with all of the nerdy kind of end of cosplay and cons. Are like, oh my gosh, that stuff is like what, and oh well, you guys just don't really understand all of the work that goes into this and all the material that goes into that to actually making one of these things and making it happen. So that's really cool. So give us a little bit about the process actually on that.
Yeah, for example, power armor. Now we got most of the models for I think every kind of power armor. We just need to fit them to the person, and with the models it takes at least 15 days to build a simple power armor with a low level of details, plus all the time to get the material, and all the time that it gets for the paint and the cover to dry. I think the quickest one we did was a Black Templar. We have been lucky because Black Templar, it's pretty easy to paint. Black doesn't take many layers, and it has a simple design, I think awesome, but every single piece is not that complex. And we did it in 12 days. A Grey Knight, we did a Grey Knight, we sent it to Australia. It had a huge amount of details on the shoulders and on the legs and even on the chest. That took 40 days in the making.
Well, they are a pain in the ass to paint, that's for sure. So I can't even imagine making a Grey Knight like Terminator armor, some cosplay armor. That's pretty impressive. So I also had here that you mentioned that there's also other stuff, because we did try to do this once before, but we had some technical issues going on. But you do have stuff that you can show us. Let's see some cool stuff. I want to see some cool stuff.
Okay, first thing, one of the no, that's good. Not this is not yet over. It's a chainsword.
Yeah.
We'll finish this tomorrow too. We still need to finish the grip and the cover. This is a model of chainsword that comes from the game Space Marine. The main difference is the pommel. On the game there's an eagle with open wings. It's too fragile. I made a simpler pommel because I don't want to see it broken in no time, because it's too small and too fragile.
That makes sense.
It's also in the game. It's ultramarine paint. I'll make it standard so it fits for most of the chapters.
You mean you don't want to do what Games Workshop does and make everything just Smurf? They just shove the Smurfs down your throat? Ultramarines, Ultramarines, Ultramarines?
Well, I got only the Smurf parts.
All of the Games Workshop model kits, all of their marketing, it's all Ultramarines themed, and it just really grates on our nerves a lot, because they always give us Ultramarines sticker decals, and all of the painting advertisement is for Ultramarines blue. So we just like to pick on the Ultramarines, and we call them Smurfs, because Games Workshop shoves it down our throat. So
well, yes, it's the basic chapter, so everything that Games Workshop makes comes first from Ultramarines, while the other have more details or more different decals, but it's not the basic. That's why they focus so much on Papa Smurf and all the other little Smurfs. And speaking about Smurfs, here we are.
All right, here we are.
This is a Space Marine shoulder with the double-headed eagle, so it's a commander.
That's beautiful.
Here, check this detail. On the lower side, we made an halo with every single leaf cut one by one and attached to the shoulders.
Wow.
Okay, now something that doesn't come from no, let me that it's not Imperial. The deceiver. This is the head of the deceiver.
Yeah.
It also had lights on the eyes, and
that's impressive.
This doesn't. This is not the one from the miniature. It's a fan art, but honestly, the miniature is really old and it's never been updated.
Sure.
While I found a few fan arts on the internet that were really awesome. Okay, give me a second.
And you have pictures of that suit like in battle on your website on the store or the Etsy store, right? That's what I'm looking at. I think.
I got this battle, suits in battle against Sister of Battle and Chaos Terminator.
Very cool. Very cool.
Hello. This is Orc Claw. It's not yet finished. We're working on a system to make it close.
Okay.
Once I'm done with the painting, I will fix all the mechanics so it will close automatically.
That's nice. That's super nice.
Also, this one, it's actually pretty old. This one, I think is 5 years old. A friend of mine made it, then we learned how to do it. This is an Earth.
Awesome.
We cover the Earth and we make both bolt gun and bolters.
And we kind of talked about that last time, doing the actual firing Nerf bolters. Now, do you make those to custom order as well?
Well, I make almost everything.
Okay.
I made bolters. I got the Vulcan here from the last time. Never put it back.
Yeah.
Second, it's huge.
That is
This is a Nerf Vulcan. We changed it to make an Imperial Guard autocannon. It has 150 belt. So it can shoot 3 times per second, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we change it beside the collar. We change it even the grips. Instead of having a single grip here, now it has 2 grips.
And
here
the
on
buttons
with 2 firing buttons.
Oh man! Every time I want to just like call you guys on Skype just so I can like see you play with it and envision myself shooting people with my Nerf
making
cannon.
a lot of videos and a lot of photos of our last event. I'll make something peculiar. It is 72 hours non-stop gaming of LARP gaming. It will be a siege.
Very cool.
And my players will have to hold out for 72 hours without any break.
Somebody should, you guys should like put maybe one of the Camelback water packs into power armor, and so you can just suck on that and keep going. That way you won't get dehydrated.
Yeah. Well, actually, we have to take my girlfriend. She is the one that is taking care of the stuff that we have at the LARP. We are, I think, 15 staff and between the 12 never enough. They are never enough. And between the 40 and the 60 players.
So we'll switch gears a little bit to 40K related lore stuff. Where do you think, or where do you want to see the story go after the Gathering Storm, Fall of Cadia, all that kind of stuff? Where do you think it's headed, and where would you want to see things at?
Well, I'm really curious to see how Games Workshop will handle all the Primates. Now,
Me too.
They will not stop with Magnus and Robotic. They will go further. And there are a lot of questions and a lot of undeveloped points. That's one of the things that can be most fascinating in the lore, and I think that can change also the way people play the game. I mean, it's a Primarch. They are walking legend. Even a miniature of a Primarch is facing a legend.
Definitely.
And besides that, I really liked the way Games Workshop put it down all the novels of the Gathering Storm saga. A lot of changed. A huge amount of things have changed. But they haven't touched the balance. The balance between the forces is slightly shifted, but just a little. It's not like the fantasy, oh my god, now Abaddon will go to Earth, it's the end times, Primarch will come back, all the Demon Prince Primarch will come back, and everything will die. No, there's still a huge amount of things that can happen. We got the Primarchs and the Demon Primarchs just for Imperium and Chaos, but there are a huge amount of faction, there are the Necrons, there are the Eldar, now they got a new god. Every faction got something to say, got a way that got something that can change the galaxy in a way or the other. There is not an ending soon, I believe.
Yeah,
maybe for the 10th edition they will make an end times. Maybe,
right.
But I won't be sure.
Yeah, I don't think we're there either. I think that I think everyone is curious, at least in my circle, to see what happens with Cypher and what's going to come of that. Does Cypher Cypher going to try to assassinate the Emperor? Is Cypher really a traitor, or is he doing that for the benefits? There's a lot of those theories being thrown out all over YouTube and everywhere else.
12 years that Games Workshop doesn't say nothing about the Cypher, and the fans just imagine everything. It's 12 years that we imagine things. They have to give us a lot of things to read about dead characters. I think, without saying nothing, it's one of the most charismatic characters that there are on the Games Workshop background. And it has a really few written lines.
Yeah, I think so too, for sure. So we saw a couple of the other things, or props you'd brought out for us to see. You do have some future projects you're working on, and I believe one of those was Tau related, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
I lost you for a second. Connection went.
Okay, we're back. Are we back?
A little laggy. Can you repeat?
Okay. Yes, you about the we were talking about before.
Okay.
Projects you might have been working on. One of those was a Tau related project, if I'm not mistaken. Project. So tell me about this. You told me about a project that you're working on, which is a Tau suit. It's a Tau armored suit, correct?
Yeah, it's the biggest project that we'll probably have this year. A friend of ours asked to build a crisis suit.
So it is going to be a person, just to get this clear, walking around in a crisis suit.
Yes. We have for almost the end of the year. The full suite will be tall 2 meters and 30 or 40, something like that. The The guy inside it's quite tall, but it's not enough. So we'll put him on the striders, those acrobatic striders,
Okay.
to emulate the feet of the Tau and to make him 30-40 centimeter higher. We will also use a lot of electronic stuff to make all the automatic guns. And now our friend is learning how to walk on the striders. Because if he doesn't learn, we can't make anything.
So is there going to be what's there going to be like with this model? Are you going to have lights and stuff going on into the model too?
Well, this friend of ours is a huge fan of the Tau faction, so he wants the suite to be as good as possible. So we'll put LEDs, lights. We are even starting to check on the little smoke machine to simulate the hydraulic system.
Oh, that I can't wait to see this.
But
I'm so excited.
we're still not sure about the last thing. We'll see if we can fit it on the project.
So here's a question: are you going to build them a little gun drone or a marker light drone? Better, a marker light drone.
Well, we have the project for a marker light drone. The problem is that the drone that we have to put to use for to make it is extremely expensive. So we are waiting for it to lower the price, because we need a drone that will automatically follow the person and will be stationary. There
Gotcha.
are drones that come with the bracelet and follow the bracelet. We need that kind of drone. It also have it must also have a good power, because we need to put a lot of stuff on it.
Mhm.
So we need a very good machine to make a drone. It's not impossible.
Mhm.
It's just a little bit complicated.
Sure, but it sounds really cool. Like I said, I'm really excited to see that. I think that will be quite amazing. And in fact, the first place you should share that would be the 40K Tau Empire Facebook group, because those guys are just going to go absolutely nuts and crazy. When I share anything that's like 40K related that isn't Tau in there, they tell me to just get out of there. They don't like that at all. But I play Tau and Space Marines and like other armies, and people just get into these tribalisms where they're like, don't share anything but that race in this Facebook group. Don't do it. So I have an excuse now to share this because you are doing Tau related things. So it is going to go there, and I think people will think it's really cool.
I think I will have a few images to show them this weekend.
Cool. Very awesome. And of course, now I did want to ask too, you do ship items internationally, right?
Yeah, I ship worldwide.
Okay. Very, very cool.
The chainsaw I showed you before, if I remember correctly, that goes to the United States.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and maybe, as I said, there's just this LARP community is so rich. Hopefully I'll have the time and funds where I'm not going to cons and like trying to spend things on the podcast and everything else, where I will someday have my own inquisitorial armor or something to present to people. And I will definitely be coming to you lovely artists to plan this out. So for sure that will happen. Is there any future?
That would be nice.
Yes. Is there
I still have to do a proper Inquisitor power armor. I've done a few things, but nothing so satisfying.
Because nothing is as satisfying as the Inquisition.
All right. I love the Inquisition.
So, aside from, of course, we talked about the Tau crisis suit thing, but do you have any other future projects that you're excited about or that are coming up that you plan to do? And do you see yourself continuing to do this and build this and essentially doing this career-wise, in the next 5 years or so?
Well, I hope to do it longer. We started to do this as a hobby, and we are trying to building a business out of it. It's pretty hard, but we're doing our best. I've done lots of work in my life, but I have to say that there is nothing satisfying like doing something you really like, something you love.
I agree.
And this kind of work, the creation of this costume, both me and my girlfriend, we enjoy this a lot. Plus, I got a very big fortune that I can do this with my girlfriend, and I do a thing I love with a girl right off. I couldn't ask any better. So yes, I'm saying this myself for my whole life, but we'll see in a few years how it goes.
Well, I personally hope that you still are, as I said, so I can seek out the artistic help and talent. And thank you for talking with us. We'll go ahead and I will edit this and have it up and be sharing links to your Etsy page and the Patreon and Facebook if you guys are on there as well. And I'm sorry that it has taken us a couple of technical failures and then all of the things that happen throughout life to do. So thanks, guys, for talking with us, and I really appreciate it. So we'll go ahead and get it out there.
Thank you for the interview. It has been really nice.